Comic fans have been aware for quite some time that Invincible is a phenomenal superhero story, and now it is leaping onto a smaller screen on Amazon Prime Video. The first 3 episodes are premiering on March 26th, and I am pleased to be joined by creator Robert Kirkman, as well as the stars of the show, Steven Yeun, J.K. Simmons, Gillian Jacobs, Zazie Beetz, Jason Mantzoukas, and... oh, that's me in the corner. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hey.
Hello.
That's you in the spotlight, Max. That's you in the spotlight.
It's losing my self-esteem. So this is an awesome show. This is a phenomenal comic that's been going on for quite some time, and now it's turning into a cartoon show, like a nice family-friendly cartoon for for all ages, right? Something like that.
It's a very mature show, very much like the comics. It's also essentially an hour-long drama that just happens to be animated, which is very cool. But, I'm going to let my kids watch it, but I'm not the best parent, so I wouldn't recommend it for everyone.
I love it. Now, before we just get to fully talking, we actually have a clip, an exclusive clip to show off right here. Steven, do you want to set us up and kind of let us know what we're in for here?
Sure. I think it's about me. Or about, I'm in it.
That's about it. Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, I'm in this one.
As you can see, the scene is absolute chaos as the Mauler twins.
Looks like Dad's saving the White House.
Alone?
Guardians are there too.
Who are they fighting? Oh, Mauler twins. Looks like we won't be getting breakfast together this morning. Bummer.
It's the White House, Mom. Kinda important?
Oh, they rebuild that thing twice a year at this point. If it's not Doc Seismic, it's the Lizard League or someone else. I doubt the president still lives there.
I'm not too late. I'm gonna shower.
Not so fast. Come here first.
Don't make me get the spray bottle.
Now, let's get you out of that costume.
Boundaries, people. Bathroom doors are closed for a reason, and parents should never ever talk about sex in front of their kids.
You should be overjoyed to see your parents passionately expressing their love for each other. Now stop griping and get ready for school.
Couldn't you at least wait until I leave the house? For college?
What were you thinking? Paris?
Actually, I was kind of pulling for that little cafe in Berlin. Been jonesing for those sausages.
Oh man, you guys are going to Best Worst? I love that place.
You've got school. When your powers kick in, you can go on your own.
Salt on the wound, Dad.
They've got to be due any day now, son. Even the latest bloomers on Viltrum would get their powers before what would be their 18th birthday. You'll see.
Don't get his hopes up.
Bye, have fun. I'll just be walking on the ground with my feet. Morning. Yeah, just trying to break in these new shoes.
Mauler twins attacked the White House. Nuts, right?
I saw.
I can't believe the Guardians of the Globe let them get that close to killing the president.
They didn't even get into the building. And Omni-Man was there too.
You're such an Omni-maniac. Way to root for the underdog. Big fan of the Yankees, are you? Sure, he's hot and all. And that mustache. Sorry, okay. Straight stuff. You up for some Clash Crash tonight? I'm hoping for a level 43 chest armor. Don't bring up that stupid job, man. Don't be that person.
When's the last time you bought a comic book? Those things are expensive. And they're doing Seance Dog twice a month, all summer.
You're into the stupidest stuff.
Knock it off, Todd.
Come on. Quit playing games. I know you're crazy about me. Marcy told me.
Well, you are big and strong, aren't you?
You know it.
And you think that makes it okay for you to harass me?
Don't walk away from me. What are you, a lesbian or something?
Oh my God, I wish. Would you leave me alone then? Let go of me so I can go find a girl to kiss.
Don't. Guy's twice your size.
Maybe you can just sit back and watch this? I can't.
I can because I'm not Omni-Man, and neither are you.
Let's see. I think Amber's been pretty clear about how she feels, Todd.
What? Are you serious, Grayson?
Leave him alone!
What are you looking at?
Thank you.
Yeah. Close one. Ah. It's about time.
So there we have the magic of superhero puberty, and Mark going from very clearly quite vincible to the beginnings of being invincible. Steven, Zazie, JK, you were all voicing in that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your respective characters? Steven, obviously we can start with you.
Yeah, I play Mark Grayson. He's a 17-year-old boy. He is half human, half Viltrumite. His dad is maybe the most powerful superhero on planet Earth, and he has a lot to live up to. Maybe.
Now, JK, you have sort of famously played non-superpowered characters who are like superhero adjacent. You're J. Jonah Jameson, you're Commissioner Gordon, but now you're finally playing an actual superhero. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the most powerful superhero on the planet, just to be clear. No, it's a lovely promotion, and this was a really fun universe to join in animated land. Stephen and Sandra and I actually did a fair amount of work together, actually playing scenes, which is a nice change from the usual, one guy in a booth by himself that most animated shows end up doing.
Nice. Zazie, you've also kind of dabbled with superheroes. I would say you've sort of been alongside two of the most deranged, Joker and Deadpool, but in sort of different directions there. And then you've got Mark, who's like, is fairly mild-mannered. Do you want to tell us about that relationship?
Yeah. So I play Amber, and I am a schoolmate of Mark's. I'm a strong, I have a strong personality, strong points of views on what I believe is sort of justice and equity, and which I think kind of juxtaposes well with the superhero persona and what is right and what is wrong and what is the actual definition of being a hero. So that's Amber.
We actually have a Twitter question from Abdullah Khan. This is primarily directed at Robert, but I'm sure it's going to put you on the spot a little bit. Out of the main cast, which character was the most difficult to find the perfect actor for until you found said actor? You've obviously had these characters in your head for quite some time.
I'm lucky. I mean, I guess because I've had the experience on Walking Dead, I try not to, think about like fan casting and, ooh, this would be the perfect person for this, like when I'm doing the comic. And that allows me to sit back and, watch the possibilities, happen before me and get excited about everything. I would make a joke about the hardest part was trying to find someone else to play Mark so we didn't have to fall back on Steven. But, you can see from the cast, it's an absolute murderer's row of fantastic actors. And, once the possibilities were presented to us, we started reaching out and people were, willing. And so, we had a pretty easy process with it. And we ended up with, I think, the best cast that any television show has ever had in the history of anything.
Now, Invincible has a fairly straightforward superpowers. Gillian, you play Adam Eve. Can you explain her powers if anyone isn't familiar with them?
I'm going to throw that back to Robert. Robert?
They're quite complicated. Adam Eve can rewrite matter at an atomic level. And so that means that she can change the density of air around her to allow her to fly. And she can also, turn a coffee cup into a bullet and whatever else a scene needs. I like to think of her as a writer's character, where you have a character that exists that can allow a writer to do whatever it is they want to do. So she's quite fun, but she's extremely powerful.
Steven, this is kind of a Walking Dead reunion in a lot of ways. When did Robert first talk to you about this, and what was that like, kind of getting to work with him again?
I don't know if I remember the time. Robert just hit me up kind of randomly and said, I'm doing Invincible. Would you come in and kind of like help me realize part of this script? He wanted me to come in and just play around in the booth, and we did this really cool scene that I really enjoyed about 2 security guards that I think is going to be in it. But it's a beautiful scene, and it really made me understand like what he was trying to make. And then not too long after, he asked me if I would play Mark, and for me, I love Robert, and also like having had that experience reading some of the script that he wrote, and where the show was going, I was super stoked to be part of it. So, I mean, who doesn't want to be Invincible?
So Gillian, Adam Eve is on a team with Jason's character, Rexplode. What's their relationship like? Can you tell us about that?
They are dating. I'm allowed to say that, I think, right, Jason? That's not a reveal.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe
okay.
when we find Adam Eve and Rexplode, the character I play, which I want to just reiterate again is the most powerful superhero in the Invincible universe. We are on the teen team, which is kind of the teenage team that falls under the Guardians of the Globe, which is kind of the adult superhero team. We're on the team that's made up primarily of teenagers, and we are dating. And we decided to both wear the same shirts.
We both have like tasteful potted plants and nice shirts. It's lovely. Now, Jason, Rexplode has this
drowning in action figures, Max. We can't all be like surrounded by a thousand action figures. And not to blow you up totally, but before we started, when I came on and it was just me on the thing, you were talking to those figures. You were like,
I thought I was muted. I didn't.
It's cool. It's okay.
Jar Jar Binks on a motorcycle. What's not to love? Anyway,
I mean, why is that so available to you?
I don't even. We shouldn't be talking about my. Isn't there a scene in Invincible where they make fun of him for having action figures? Did I imagine that? I thought it was about sort of celebrating the nerd culture to a certain degree.
These are actors, man. They're playing characters on Invincible. These guys hate you, nerd.
Oh man,
take those action figures down.
Oh, no way. Hey,
we're
we love you.
No.
Anyway, speaking of which.
Actors love to beat up nerds. Yeah, the actors, the most macho of the arts.
I don't know how to segue to this next one, but we got a fan question from Mega Brain Comics and Arcade on Twitter, who sounds like a real jock, if you ask me.
Hey, Robert. John Michelle from Mega Brain Comics. It was a huge achievement creating a superhero comic like Invincible, where you sort of leaned into all the things that we love about the superhero genre, while at the same time subverting all the cliches. So my question to you is, was there a particular trope that you kind of turned on its head that you are particularly proud of, and why?
One thing that we did in Invincible that I really liked that we've done, we ended up doing a couple of times over the course of the run, which, maybe a spoiler for season 7 of the show, I don't know. But we did a lot of cool things where the villain actually won. I think that in all superhero stories, the end of the story is usually the hero winning in some cases, in some way. And so I love that we were able to turn that on its head in more than one instance and actually have the villain succeed in their plan. And because Invincible was a long-running series, we got to deal with the aftermath of that for a very, very long time. So I think that was kind of cool.
Can I say something that I really like about Invincible that I think you did that that doesn't get done a lot, and this is in earnest. I think that the things that happen in Invincible stay having happened. Like a lot of times in long-running comic series, they'll undo events simply so they can keep telling the same stories. And Invincible, I think when something bad happens, that bad thing becomes baked into the story, and the people have to deal with those repercussions forever. And that's compelling to watch or read.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the fun of the series because it was long running and because, you know, it was all in one series. A lot of superhero comics have to deal with being as part of a big universe. Like, we could do anything in Invincible and just be like, okay, well, the moon cracked in half and we have a half moon world and there's just going to be a half moon forever now. You know, we could do stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by that, and I was, I'll admit it, unfamiliar with this whole universe. So, I mean, it was all new to me, and the thing that I found most challenging and enjoyable as an actor was just taking the relationships, you know, my two primary relationships with my son and my daughter, you know, or my wife, my daughter, my sister, my mother, and you know, just taking them off the page and trying to thank you, Dr. Freud, trying to, you know, make them believable characters.
Now, this is sort of a question for Gillian and for Stephen and for Jason. You're all, you know, without throwing into the bus here, you're all adults and you're playing teenagers. And, you know, teenagers they go through some things, and there's this kind of weird mixture of, you know, being kind of awkward and kind of out of it, and sort of, you know, you're going through a lot of stuff and you're figuring it out, but at the same time, you're playing characters who need to be like human and compelling. How do you find that balance? Stephen, we saw some sort of teen awkwardness in the clip we showed.
You know, that is tough at times. I think I kind of look at it more holistic, and you pick moments to kind of embellish where he might be a little bit more juvenile, but I'm excited for people to get to see like Mark throughout his arc and how he grows and comes into himself. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, 17 is an angsty time.
Adam Eve is more confident than I am. So I don't have to dredge up the feelings of insecurity. I just have to pretend to be a superhero.
Yeah, and I think for Rex, it was really just a matter of he is so uncomfortable with his emotionality and has very little control over his emotions, and that level of emotional immaturity is covered over with a thin facade of bluff and bluster, which to me feels very much like teenage kid trying to act normal, but not really understanding he's always revealing how insecure he is, no matter the fact that he's so handsome and the most powerful superhero on Earth.
Again with this, come on.
But he is handsome. You can agree that, you know. The rest is for the nerds to argue in the comments about, but, you know.
Robert called me and he said, I want you to be in Invincible. And I was like, I'll only play a character if he's a stone cold hunk. And he was like, buddy, have I got a role for you?
Zazie, you play. I
mean, the same way you
Amber.
do with all your live action stuff, really.
This
absolutely. Thank you, JK. Thank you, JK.
Yes.
I was gonna say, Zazie, you play a regular human person. Like, you don't have superpowers. How does that feel? Are you like, I don't have a cool code name, I'm Amber, or are you having fun with it?
I mean, yes, I do feel a little bit like a muggle amongst wizards here, but you know, yeah, I actually would love to be a superhero, but I'm not. But that's also okay. And I actually think it's a really great sort of parallel to everything Mark is going through, and even Adam Eve. You know, I feel like they're struggling with what does it mean to be strong and to have all these abilities but still have immense insecurity. And like, I think she's sort of this like a grounded sense of, you can be a good person and you can be a hero without needing to be strong, and that doesn't need to be the definition of what makes you you know, a positive force in the world. And I think that the superhero characters kind of need to deal with that. And so I think it's sort of an important, I don't know, I guess, direct tie-in into the audience for, you know, everyone else who isn't super.
No, I mean, we also, you know, we showed a clip where you're the only one kicking anyone's ass, like you know, whack the bully right in his junk. So now we have another video question from a young fan named Gregory. Let's take a look.
Hi everybody, my name's Greg Miller. I make stuff on the internet, and Robert Kirkman rode past me in a golf cart once at San Diego Comic-Con and insulted me. And then I went and hosted a panel with him, and I didn't insult him back, and I've regretted it every day. But I digress. My question is this. I've recommended Invincible to many people many times over all these years of being a huge Invincible fan. And the one thing I always tell them is stick around through the first twist. Like, Invincible starts as a very traditional superhero story, and then I think does something that establishes itself as a series that's going to subvert your superhero expectations. How are you handling that in an episodic series? Obviously, people have such short attention spans, right? You don't want them to tune into the first episode, think it's just this is, you know, Superman for all intents and purposes, and bounce out. How are you taking what makes Invincible special and getting to that kicker without ruining it early, or are you just doing it the normal way of the comic book? How are you wrestling with people's expectations?
Yeah, the fact that there are big, you know, twists down the road is, I think, the fact that there are lots of interesting twists along the way really kind of, you know, hopefully battles that, you know, short attention, 21st century attention span. But really, more importantly, I want to know what the insult was that you hurled at that guy from your golf cart.
It could have been anything. I mean, you know, do you think that guy? Why would I remember? I barely know who Greg Miller is.
No, I want to know from him. I know you know him.
I'm sure he remembers. No, I love Greg. Let me just say this. We were aware of that situation, and I will say that having written the comic, the big twist does happen possibly deeper in the run than, you know, it maybe should have. But I will say that if you've read Invincible, there are so many big twists and so many other things. It's possible that moving things up would have allowed us to have other things, you know, loaded that would have happened right after that. So it wouldn't have made it, you know, wouldn't mess things up. It's possible that we moved twists in front of twists. It's possible that, you know, all kinds of different things have happened in the adaptation of this comic book series. But what I will say is we hit the ground running. And I don't think anybody is going to be sitting around going, well, this isn't an interesting show. When's something cool going to happen? Because cool things are happening almost nonstop on this show. So Greg is going to be very happy. I've had to stop myself many times from texting him clips from this show because I know he's going to be very excited when he sees some of this stuff. And I know a lot of the fans out there are going to feel the same. So this is going to be a great show.
Are you willing to promise a twist in every episode, a chicken in every pot?
I think definitely. Like, there's sometimes more than one.
Oh,
we've got it recorded right there.
You're saying some eps might have double twists?
I'm going to say the pot runneth over with chicken.
Okay.
2 cars in every garage, 2 twists.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
2 twists, 3 chickens, 4 cars. No, I think that's something that we should address is that, like, this is, you know, at a glance, a very, you know, it's a colorful, you know, very primary color superhero show, and it's got levity, it's got humor, but it also gets pretty brutal and it gets pretty dark. I'd like to talk to the cast of sort of how was it seeing the finished product? Were you like, I did not expect it to get that bad, or was it like they prepared me for this? Gillian?
Well, that was, something I loved about the scripts. When I read them and then performing them and then now getting to see the episodes, I think that this is truly a brilliant comic that Robert's created, and I think it's a show that is unlike anything that I certainly watched growing up, and I think I would have loved to have had this show around, and I can't wait for people to see it. And yes, it gets violent, I think is a safe word to use.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've also read all of Invincible, and it's like, I think the juxtaposition of like the classic superhero storytelling with like the savage brutality of these action set pieces is going to be incredibly fun to watch, especially kind of as Robert said at the beginning, which I think really is to be noted, this is like a 1 hour show. So you are sitting inside of this story for an hour. It's not like quick, you know, like bite-sized colorful candy. It is like, this is a story that has like really savage brutality, which is pretty rad.
Would you say Invincible is the goriest cartoon ever?
Well, I think it's what I really appreciate about the violence in Invincible is that I mean, violence is terrible, right? Violence has repercussions, and you don't often see that, and I think that's one of the many things that, you know, along with, you know, I mean, the real sort of, you know, yin yang of it to me is that good drama almost never works without some good comic elements as well, to just kind of keep it grounded in some kind of reality that people can relate to. So those two extremes, I think, are big parts of what make it work for me.
Would you show it to your kids, or is it?
My kids are 22 and 19, so, you know, yeah.
They're probably target age range there. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, family drama filled, but not necessarily family friendly. Now, one last question before we go. Oh.
I was just gonna say, I don't have kids, but I've been going around the neighborhood trying to show it to kids, and it's gone poorly.
Look, I have a 12-year-old daughter.
Yo, check this out.
15-year-old son, and I need Jason to give them back. But no, I let them watch the show, and they loved it. So I don't know if, you know, you should necessarily let your 12-year-old watch it, but my daughter quite enjoyed it, and you know, she's kind of normal.
Well, 12 is the new 17, really. So I mean, you know, maybe you don't want to go into single digits with the audience, but
sure.
Nice. Well, it is definitely a very brutal animated series. I am excited for more people to see it. Before we go, Robert, we've heard sort of rumors and rumblings of the possibility of a live-action Invincible movie. Can you say anything about that?
I mean, it's you know, it's in the works. It's taking a lot longer than this animated series took, but I wouldn't rule it out for the future. And you know, things are looking pretty good.
You can go ahead and lay it out right there now that Jason is going to play the most gorgeous, powerful superhero ever created.
Are none of us getting rehired for the movie?
Well,
I'm sorry, my question would be, you're already making it Invincible as an animated series. Why not make the Rexplode as the movie? The Rexplode movie.
Okay.
Oh my.
I think that shows promise. I think that's good. Anyway, the first 3 episodes of Invincible premiere on March 26th on Amazon Prime Video, and there will be a new one every subsequent week after that. Check it out. It kicks ass. It's very cool. Thank you all so much for joining me and hanging out, and I'm excited to hear your voices more on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See y'all.